It has been a busy and hectic year for me. Last year, me and my team decided to embark on the adventure of making one of the most comprehensive and in-depth online digital courses to heal chronic pain and symptoms, specifically neuroplastic pain and symptoms. Now, this course, I'm happy to report, has launched today. So all of the course content is now available. The course, for the price of it, it's $499 Canadian, but the first 100 people get 20% off. So no rush, but the first 100 people, they get a 20% off discount. Now this course is massive. It involves 10 really comprehensive modules. And we have over 10 plus hours of educational videos on how to heal chronic pain and symptoms. We have 60 plus somatic practices, brain retrainings, or meditations that are audio or video and you get access to. And we also have over 30 interactive worksheets. Now this course, it has 10 modules. And in this video, I'm going to go through each of these modules and what's involved in each of them and what's included in each of them so that you're fully aware of what you're getting. So let's dive into it. Module 1. So in Module 1, as you can see, we cover a lot. We're giving you education about how pain and symptoms work and how neuroplastic pain and symptoms develop. We also explain the science behind our approach because we pulled from evidence-based models, including pain reprocessing therapy, emotional awareness and expression therapy, somatic experiencing, Polyvagal Theory, and also some Qigong practices. So in Module 1, we really explain our approach in detail to you all. We discuss, chronic pain and symptoms and the brain, how they interact, how the brain is responsible for chronic pain and symptoms. We discuss the sensitization cycle, which I've talked lots on our channel about. And we also help you self-assess if your symptoms are neuroplastic in nature. So we really go through the criteria in detail. We have some really detailed worksheets and exercises that we walk you through in self-assessing if your symptoms are in fact neuroplastic or if a portion of your symptoms are neuroplastic in nature. We also discuss, how we can overcome barriers to healing and the attitude you need to heal. So it's not just all the techniques we provide, but we explain what's the attitude you actually need to heal. We also go through in the first module a visualizing your healing meditation. And so within the first module, we offer 1 brain retraining exercise and 6 really detailed worksheets. Let's discuss Module 2. So in Module 2, we really focus on the nervous system. So we give you an introduction to Polyvagal Theory and how this relates to chronic pain and symptoms. I know I've discussed this lots on the channel. And Module 2 is a really in-depth 101 to Polyvagal Theory. Now we discuss neuroception, how your brain is scanning for safety or danger in every moment of your life, and how this can actually start to become inaccurate. Then we really go through supporting you mapping your nervous system. And we really map it at the basic level, but we also have an additional video on how you can map your nervous system out in detail. As we go through this, we discuss the notice and name skill, how we can achieve embodiment. I love that word, embodiment, great word. That's what we're trying to achieve in this course. That's what's needed to overcome chronic pain and symptoms. Now, as we go throughout this, we're also supporting you mapping out your danger signals and your safety signals. And these are unique to you. What are the signals of safety or danger that your nervous system is picking up internally, externally, in your relationships? We really have a lot of detailed exercises to support you in doing this. As we kind of go throughout this, we're also talking about vagal tone, the vagal break, And in Module 2, we start to provide polyvagal somatic practices and Qigong practices. So there's a lot of practices, as I've said, in our course, and we really start to dive deep into that in Module 2. Now, in Module 2, we have 5 somatic practices and 7 detailed worksheets. And so Module 2 really breaks down polyvagal theory. It's going to help you understand it in detail and really start to build a relationship with your nervous system, which we need to do to heal. Let's discuss Module 3. So in Module 3, this is really the brain retraining module. We give you lots of education around brain retraining, which is an essential pillar of our approach. And so we talk about safety messages. We support you in developing your personalized safety messages with meditation included, but also a worksheet included in that. And then we discuss somatic tracking basics, the healing window, building your personalized somatic tracking practice. So I get a lot of questions on this channel about, how do I use somatic tracking most effective? It's personalized, and we want to support you in personalizing your own somatic practice so you can better your chances of healing. Now, as we go throughout this module, we also discuss how to do brief and informal somatic tracking, which is really effective for some people. Now, 8 tips and tricks for brain retraining, one of my favorite modules in the entire course. We really break this down. 8 tips and tricks. If you're getting caught up on somatic tracking, we give you lots of advice here on how you can make it work best for you. How to lean into pleasant sensations, and we also discuss polyvagal somatic tracking. Now, this module, it's got a lot of somatic trackings and brain retrainings. You could probably guess from the content on my channel what I was going to include in my course. There is 8 somatic trackings and or brain retraining practices included, and 4 detailed worksheets. Let's move on to Module 4. In Module 4, we really dive in to understanding trauma. And not only that, but understanding trauma and chronic pain and symptoms. Now, I want to give a message here. Even if you don't think you have trauma, it's important to know that trauma is a part of a lot of people's lives. And at the very least, we've faced overwhelming situations. So even if you don't think you have trauma, this module is going to be really helpful. So we support you in defining what trauma actually is and actually assessing for your trauma, understanding what is the trauma I've faced in my life and how does this connect to my chronic pain and symptoms. Now, the sensitization trauma module is really great. It's really important because this is a term we came up with. Sensitization trauma. It is the trauma that occurs from the onset or progression of your chronic pain and symptoms. And throughout this course, we provide a lot of practices to support you in processing that. Now we discuss homeostasis. It's a big word. It's basically achieving balance within your nervous system and how this can kind of occur by using the content that we're providing to you all. There's present moment sensing practices included in this. We discuss embodiment practices and somatic touch. And then we start to get into a lot of the meat and potatoes of our approach with somatic embodiment practices. And so somatic embodiment practices, we provide them for each state of your nervous system. For dorsal vagal, shutdown, collapse, numb, despair, sympathetic, fight or flight, and ventral, safe, calm, connected. So we support you in understanding how you can work with the energy in the different states of your nervous system most effectively. And we give a very detailed somatic practice and somatic process that allows you to do this. Next, we dive into some brief Qigong practices. And in this module, we also discuss managing chronic pain and symptom flare-ups. We're going to have flare-ups as we heal. And so we thought it was really important we include in this course, how do you deal with a flare-up? How can we find our unique way that's best adapted for your brain and nervous system to deal with pain or symptom flares as you go throughout this course? Now, in this module, there are 6 somatic practices and 3 detailed worksheets. Module number 5. In module number 5, we teach you how to amplify the ventral vagal state of safety, calmness, and connection. If we understand that pain and symptoms are danger signals that our brain is sending us, then the solution is safety. And we want to amplify feelings of safety for everyone taking this course, because that's going to better your chances of actually healing. Now, we discuss breath work, 101, several breathwork practices included. Somatic movement and Qigong, we have several practices as well. And as we go throughout this module, we discuss blended states of the nervous system: play, passion, stillness, intimacy. For a lot of us, when we've had chronic pain or symptoms for a long time, trauma, overwhelming situations, these blended states, we have a really hard time connecting with them. But they're important blended states that we need to practice being in. And when I was recovering from chronic pain, I needed to practice being in these states. And so we give you specialized practices for each of these blended states. Now, in module 5, one of my favorite topics to discuss, graded exposure. Now, graded exposure, starting to use your body fully. We discuss 6 strategies to breaking conditioned responses, allowing you to actually open up your world, widen it, steps for breaking conditioned responses. And in this module, there's a lot of practices here, 15 somatic practices and or brain retraining exercises, and 3 detailed worksheets. So by module 5, you're going to have a great package of skills and techniques that's going to better your chances of healing. Module number 6, emotions. Ooh, we're getting into the emotion part of the course. I spent hours upon hours building this module. I put everything I got into it because we know that there is a connection between emotions and chronic pain and symptoms. And so in this module, we discuss that. We also discuss 4 ways we resist emotions that can actually be triggering and worsening your chronic pain and symptoms. And we help you self-assess, how am I resisting my emotions? And is this affecting my healing? Now, as we go throughout this module, we provide a detailed step-by-step process to explore and release emotions somatically. And then following this, we have many, many emotional practices. Me and our other partner, Alex, we spent a long time on these emotion practices. They are in depth, and we provide them for the emotions anger, sadness, love and joy, guilt and shame, and fear and anxiety. So there is a lot of emotion practices that you're going to get with this course. As we go throughout this module, we also discuss journaling with emotions. And then we dive into a bit of brain retraining, take a side step towards that, in the sense that how we can become indifferent to our chronic pain and symptoms. We are not going to force ourselves to be indifferent about our symptoms, but we can work towards cultivating it over time. And I will mention here that in most of these modules, there is some brain retraining exercise in almost every single one. And we did that intentionally because this is a trend in our approach that we call the somatic safety method. And by actually doing a lot of brain retraining, we better our chances of healing. Now in module 6, we have 15 somatic emotion practices and 8 detailed worksheets. So, a lot of practices in that module. Let's move on to module 7. In module 7, we discuss the power of thoughts and how they affect our symptoms. Why fearful, obsessive, critical, despairing thinking occurs. So there's very set reasons why the thinking is actually taking place, and we want you to be aware of them and kind of assess your own situation, what's going on. We then go into brain retraining to change your thinking. The 3R skill, it's included in the course. We take a deep dive into that. And we also provide some meditations around brain retraining and your thinking. Next, we talk about self-compassion for your nervous system and chronic symptoms. And again, here we provide a brain retraining exercise because we need compassion to heal. Self-compassion, there's a trend throughout our course where we discuss it a lot. We cannot heal when we're being critical of ourselves all the time. We can only heal by having compassion for ourselves. And so in this course, you're going to get a lot of exercises around self-compassion, but especially in Module 7, we talk about how to apply self-compassion to your chronic symptoms. A unique part about our course is using music to regulate. We are very fortunate to have Alex Klassen be a part of our team, who is a musician, and he does a lot of producing of music. So he's created some really interesting content here that you're going to get exposure to, and that can be really helpful for healing chronic pain and symptoms. Next, we dive into how you can use your voice to regulate your nervous system. Whether this is talking a certain way, humming, or chanting, we provide some practices here that are pretty unique. So in Module 7, overall we have 5 somatic practices we provide and 3 detailed worksheets. Now on to Module 8. In Module 8, we have a little somatic dance party. I got Anne to dance with me. Anne doesn't love dancing, but I got her to do it for everyone. Don't worry, we're dancing in one of the videos. In Module 8, it's really focused on releasing trauma from the body. As we know, trauma is stored in the body, and unreleased trauma can produce chronic pain and symptoms. So we have a lot of modules on this, including, what is unreleased trauma, brain science on trauma, the fight response, the flight response, the freeze response, and we have a guide for processing trauma. We know trauma is very hard. We're very honored if people choose this course and want to work through that with us. So we provide a process for how you can move through your trauma. Lots of videos on this content. And we also have somatic movements for trauma responses. Somatic movements for fight, flight, freeze, and shutdown. And so you can practice doing those as well as you're going through the content. In total, there are 10 somatic practices and 1 detailed worksheet included in Module 8. We're getting close to the end here. Module 9. Maybe you're still with me, hopefully. I know I'm being pretty detailed with this course, so I won't dawdle like I usually do in my videos. Module 9. In Module 9, we discuss shifting how we navigate our world. How you live your life affects your chronic pain and symptoms. And so sometimes the smaller internal shifts aren't enough. We need to actually change how we're living our life. We have full sections on reducing perfectionism, lowering our intensity level, reducing people pleasing, and then we dive into how you can reconnect with your world, create co-regulation, and how you can heal relationship patterns in your life that could be affecting your chronic symptoms. We also have a special module on educating others on neuroplastic pain and symptoms. As I know from experience, this can be challenging to do. And so there are 4 somatic practices and 5 detailed worksheets included in this module. And lastly, module number 10, 10 hacks to stay on track, how to maintain your healing. In this brief module, we give you a bit of a package of what you want to keep focusing on to maintain your healing from chronic pain and symptoms. So this is our very detailed and comprehensive somatic safety method course. No rush, but the first 100 people get 20% off. Thought I would say that again. And we're really excited about this. I want to really give a message that I put everything I've got into this course. I wanted to create something that is detailed, comprehensive, and can better people's chances of healing from neuroplastic pain and symptoms. So please put your questions or comments down below, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you all later. Take care.